Nicolas, thank you very much to have accepted my invitation for this very nice interview we are just leading together. So just to give the context for the audience, it is about giving tips and advice on international dimension with your expertise and with your experience on this. So can you just introduce yourself, please, and just your professional path in a few words?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So yeah, I am Nicolas Medicamento. I am originally from Italy, based in UK, in London for now. And I'm an international speaker, I'm a trainer, and I'm a neuroencoding specialist.
Wow. Okay. So now you are based, you told me just before, you are based in London. And okay, so about public speaking, what would advise people in the preparation or on stage? What would, like, if you had only one advice as to be on stage and as international speaker in English, as it is not your native language, what would you recommend?
Number one thing, the first advice that I would strongly give to who is not native in English, as not first language, I would say just be curious to understand the language and the words if you're not familiar, because it's a very important thing. Is understanding the context where you are, and the easier and simple the words are, more people you will connect with. So we don't need to go always in very strong technical thing all the time. We need to be as simple as possible, because voice is very important to be projected to as many people possible. So be familiar with the word, the meaning of the word, but also be able to summarize or make it in simple words for who does not understand that, and making sure that everyone is comfortable with you.
So finally, you are talking about the concept that is called in English the globish language, like the global English.
Yes. Yes,
okay.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Like, okay, so I believe it is very practical and pragmatic advice. So thank you very much. In terms of language, very good. Okay, so now in terms of public speaking itself, what would you recommend? Like, to be self-confident, or I don't know, what is your mindset, or I don't know, what is your recommendation?
Well, there is just the number one advice every mentor, every trainer that trained me, everyone that I actually go on stage with, when I speak with, they always said one thing: stay ready. Stay ready. Don't get ready when the opportunity comes. Stay ready. What I mean by that is that you need to have something that you want to speak all the time, and you need to be ready to speak about. If tomorrow someone calls you, can you speak about the topic that you really want to talk about it? And an example is actually, I'm in the middle of preparing for a seminar personally, and it's not going to be very long, it's just 2 hours, but still for me, I constantly have my script and I keep recording it, I keep repeating it. Yesterday I was working out and I went out with my script in my hand. So when I was pausing between the exercise, I was looking at the script, because I need to be calm. I need to embrace the script as much as possible, because it's good to have a script sometimes. So, but even if you don't have it, you need to be comfortable and confident. So the preparation is a key. So prepare your mind, see yourself there, that you're doing it over and over and over. And it's like when you will be there, it's going to be literally like you already done it. So it's going to be very comfortable for you. So be prepared over and over and over. Always keep repeating.
Okay, so being on the starting blocks and finally making the steps whenever you can to be on the starting blocks, as if you had to make like the speech at every corner of the street, like any opportunity just coming up, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a key component. Stay ready. Just stay ready.
Yeah. I really like this as well. And I really like when you are talking about visualization, like, just imagine yourself on stage, and this is so true. And finally, this is also the basics of neuro linguistic programmation,
Yeah, absolutely.
and this is how sport elite are prepared, by the way.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely correct. The
Yeah.
mind is a powerful tool. We need to know how to use it.
It is the most powerful, in fact,
Yes.
when you are able to align the mind with the elite, the source, the spirit, and the finally the truth you are searching.
Yes. Yes. When we're
This,
connected to source.
this
Yes.
is like, like the truth, like connect yourself to the truth. This is it. Yes, so very, very, very good. And have you got an experience to share with us about public speaking experience uh, that you had, where it was, and basically what how was this experience? The context? Can you give us the context and
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I mean, I have to say that I've changed a lot since my first time. But the first time you don't forget the first time when you go on stage, and and I come from the industry of the hospitality, so restaurant, bars, hotels. That's where I come from. And when I started to make the shift to become a trainer and speaker, I start to ask around to people, hey, can I come and speak? Can I come and train? Can I do that for you? And long story short, they told me, we are launching a new awards. It's going to be the first time we're going to launch this new award. Would like to have a speaker, a keynote speaker there. I said, okay, fantastic, great, let's do it. And I remember the day because the reality is that if I think back what I did, I'm not that speaker. I don't think I will ever be that kind of speaker, but I was not experienced enough. I prepared a lot, but was not experienced enough to go and do what I do now more than before. And what happened is that basically I did a speech, was okay speech, was if I look it back, I would say, oh my God, what the hell, what I'm saying there? It's incredible. Why did I say these things? Why am I going there on stage? Why am I doing this? Like if I analyze now, I say, who the hell is this guy? But it's good. We learn from that. And I had this almost 600 people in the room there as in front of me. And I was basically in the middle of the evening. They were doing awards. Then they had me, and then they had the final speeches, and then they were going literally for the celebration and finalizing the dinner. So when I went, I remember that before going on stage, I was really nervous. And I'm saying this on purpose, even if I understand my speech pattern is very important. But I remember that I was very nervous there. And I was jumping, I was doing squats, I was doing push ups, as many things possible to release that extra energy. Now I have a different approach of preparation.
yeah, sure.
And I went there on stage, I was ready, and it was an okay speech, but people loved it. And in my mind, I said, I don't think so. I mean, I did everything
Yeah.
like this. That was a very powerful thing to see because I was giving the audience what they wanted more than me actually giving who I really I am. And that moment, I decided that the next year, if I will come back, I will do something completely different. And the first time was very powerful for them. I managed with all the technique we can use in public speaking. I managed to let the audience stand up, to exercise, to have fun, to dance. Like was a very very successful speech from their point of view. From my side, I said that's just the beginning. I just need to get better and better and better. So that was the first time I actually remember in front of. I think there were almost 600 people, which is over 500. Yes.
So what you are highlighting here is a very interesting point. You are highlighting finally the stress we may have before public speaking, but also the difference of perception between you and your audience. And like sometimes it is you can have I was not very good and so on, but finally people love it, it is it is
Yes,
it may happen. And anyway, there is a different a difference in the perception of people. This is true. And now
absolutely.
concerning the cross-cultural communication, what would advise to deal with international cultures, and what would you recommend before going? This is a very large, very wow issue, I know, but
Yes.
and is there any short story you would like to share about this international difference and of culture?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, I will share a funny story, and then I will go into more of the, let's say, the answer to
Yeah.
understanding more the cultures. When I moved to London many years ago, one of my manager back then, he suggested, "Why don't you do public speaking? Why don't you look for public speaking trainings?" And it's okay, fantastic. So I look it up, and I sign up in Toastmasters. Toastmasters International, a global company. It's huge, and I stayed in Toastmaster for a few years up to reaching the level of vice president of education, and I was also president. So I was actually very engaged in Toastmasters. And I remember before everything started to happen in Toastmaster, they have a part of the training with the meetings where you need to basically be you are called to speak without being prepared. You need to speak for 1 minute,
Wow, okay.
and you need to speak for minimum 1 minute to be eligible to to pass the test on something that you don't know. So I
Okay.
remember the lady, she said, "Nicholas, you've been caught doing catfishing." And that's it. That was her statement. So I need to expand on that. And in my mind, when she was saying, you're allowed to ask twice the question, like she can repeat it twice. So when she was repeating the second time, I was thinking, I have no idea what does it mean catfishing. I don't know what is that. So what I did, I discovered catfishing meaning after, of course, that day. But I needed to speak for 1 minute. So I made that up a full story that was very comical for them. Everyone started literally. They were laughing. Some of them were also crying for the laughs, because they said, "Look, I'm a dog person. I'm not big fan of cat, but I used to have cat in my family, so I appreciate animals, and also I like fishing, but I don't want to let the cat fishing for me." So I just made that up a story, and everyone was so laughing.
Yeah,
They were
surprised.
so, oh my god, they were laughing. And anyway, I wrote 1 minute to say thank you very much, and we were so, hey, well done, bravo. And then in the end, basically they do an internal voting about who was the best speaker for that section, and I won. And in my mind, okay, very interesting. But then when I came back home, I discovered that. So sometimes, if when you have fun in the process more than be serious and take it seriously, you don't know what really can come up when you release attachment to the outcome. That's very interesting. So that's a story that always come to my mind when I share about public speaking experiences. And now to answer to the cross-cultural situation when you go on stage and you speak in different audiences. I spoke, for example, in front of a Chinese government for a very big company in China, and a Chinese company here in London, but it was all Chinese government there. And one of the first things I personally do, if I'm not sure about the culture, because being Italian and living in a with Western country, I can understand how we speak. So it's where I come from, I can figure out. But there are some certain culture that you need to be mindful and respectful of their own way of being. That's a very important thing. So the first things I did, I said, I don't think I never spoke in front of a full Asian crowd. So what can I do? Especially knowing the level of people I had in front of me. So I just reached out to my mentor. I say, hey, tell me a little bit about that. And they actually told me, Nicholas, it's good to have the energy you have, but just remember that they are very respected, very more relaxed and reserved this personality. So if it's going to be your first time in front of them, just be as gentle as you are, like as educated, a good person that you are. Just because on stage I personally change. I'm very energized. I love people to bring in. So that kind of energy is good when people get warm with you, but not from the beginning. And so that was very important things for me to understand who I'm talking to. So number this recommendation for me was gold, because luckily there's someone that can reach out and say, hey, tell me about it. So cross cultural is when it comes to these things, it's very important to ask for help and be open to receive feedbacks no matter what, because it's all about your development and also the person that is serving you.
Yeah. So finally, you were advised with do's and don'ts according to the cultures you have, the culture you have in front of you, because sometimes it is something natural to you to do something, but in front of you, it may be a shock. Like, what is this person doing? What is this?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
it is just because of uh, the internet, the frame, the
It's their
cultural frame.
environment where they come
It is
from.
the
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, it is finally the cultural frame. So the advice
Yes,
you are giving, like, okay, just get knowledge and get knowledge about the culture you have in front of you, and above all, if there is a high stake in front of you, like, prepare this with care, because you can be ready on the content, but if the attitude is not appropriate to the culture you have in front of you, it can be a real disaster.
I agree. I completely agree with you. Yes, and then the opportunities will not come again.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, you can do this sometimes in your own culture, but it is even true, even truer, more true in a culture that you don't finally know the codes, and finally the frame and the way it works. And what you are highlighting here with the Chinese culture is valid for anything. Like, okay, you don't know.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yes, so thank you very much for having shared this with us, and I will
It's a
let you
pleasure.
give the link and share around you, and it will
Yes,
also
thank you very much.
promote my project, because this is new. You are the first one, so thank you
Excited. Thank
very
you.
much. So I'm sure you will give me the luck, and
Of course.
yeah, yeah, and of course, we keep in touch, and as I told you, we go back to some other partnerships afterwards. Okay, so thank you
Perfect.
very
Thank you
much,
very much.
and wish you the best for the rest of the day and the rest of the week and the
Thank
rest.
you. You too.
Okay, thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.